Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds submitted a request for stricter protections on discovery material as part of their ongoing legal battle with Justin Baldoni and Wayfarer Studios. Blake Lively is seeking additional protections. Amid the It Ends With Us actress's ongoing legal battle with the film's director and star Justin Baldoni, Blake's legal team has submitted a letter on her and husband Ryan Reynolds' behalf, requesting a more comprehensive protective order amid litigation. The letter filed Feb 20 and obtained by E! News. Among the requests is one allowing certain discovery material to be categorized as attorney's eyes only, limiting who is able to view such information. The letter says the category will only be applied to material of such a highly confidential and personal, sensitive, or proprietary nature that the revelation of such is likely to cause a competitive, business, commercial, financial, or privacy injury to the producing party. The letter specifically names high-profile individuals to whom a duty of confidentiality is owed. As part of the justification for such a category, an additional letter filed by the Gossip Girl alums team cites the 37-year-old's newly filed amended complaint. As detailed in Ms. Lively's amended complaint, the second letter reads, Ms. Lively, her family, other members of the cast, various fact witnesses, and individuals that have spoken out publicly in support of Ms. Lively have received violent, profane, sexist, and threatening communications. The letter goes on to claim that one of the fact witnesses referenced in Wayfarer's complaint received a written threat indicating that the witness's family would be sexually assaulted and killed unless the witness agreed to make a statement and give the truth. The request also references online backlash against Blake that was so vicious that Meta publicly stated that that kind of online harassment is wrong and we condemn it. Blake and Ryan's attorneys argue it is entirely foreseeable, probable, and inevitable that the release of certain information could cause injury by violating their privacy, exposing them to threats, and creating a climate of possible witness intimidation. The couple's request for additional protections comes just days after Blake filed an amended version of her complaint against Justin and Wayfarer Studios. In the new version, Blake claimed 2 additional women were made to feel uncomfortable on set by Justin and his business partner, Jamie Heath. The experiences of Ms. Lively and others were documented at the time they occurred starting in May of 2023. The filing, obtained by E! News, reads, Importantly, and contrary to the entire narrative defendants have invented, Mr. Baldoni acknowledged the complaints in writing at the time. He knew that women other than Ms. Lively also were uncomfortable and had complained about his behavior. Following the filing, Justin's attorney Brian Friedman shared a statement with E! News, claiming the underwhelming amended complaint is filled with unsubstantial hearsay, alleged the unnamed persons clearly no longer willing to come forward or publicly support her claims, and slammed a lack of actual evidence. 4 months after the film adaptation of Colleen Hoover's book, It Ends With Us, debuted in theaters, Blake Lively filed a California Civil Rights Department CRD complaint against her co-star Justin Baldoni and his associates on December 20, according to the New York Times. In the complaint obtained by News, Baldoni, his production company Wayfarer Studios, Wayfarer, its CEO Jamie Heath, its co-founder Steve Sarowitz, Baldoni's publicist Jennifer Abel, her company RWA Communications, crisis communications specialist Melissa Nathan, her company the agency group PR LLC, TAG, contractor Jed Wallace and his company Street Relations Inc. were listed as defendants. Lively alleged in her complaint that Baldoni and his Wayfarer associates embarked on a sophisticated press and digital plan in retaliation for her voicing her concerns about purported misconduct on set, with her saying she and other cast and crew members experienced invasive, unwelcome, unprofessional, and sexually inappropriate behavior by Baldoni and Heath. The actress added the alleged campaign against her caused substantial harm to her personally and professionally. The accusations listed in the complaint include sexual harassment, retaliation, failure to investigate, prevent, and/or remedy harassment, aiding and abetting harassment and retaliation, breach of contract, intentional infliction of emotional distress, negligence, false light invasion of privacy and interference with prospective economic advantage. The next day, the New York Times published a report about a retaliatory smear campaign Baldoni and his associates allegedly waged against Lively, citing her CRD complaint. In its article, the outlet quoted messages sent from Baldoni and his team, including publicist Abel and crisis communications specialist Nathan, that were part of her complaint. Readers could also scroll through the court documents on the New York Times website. I hope that my legal action helps pull back the curtain on these sinister retaliatory tactics to harm people who speak up about misconduct, Lively told the outlet, and helps protect others who may be targeted. After news of Lively's complaint broke, Brian Friedman, the attorney for Baldoni, Wayfarer, and its representatives, slammed Lively's allegations. It is shameful that Ms. Lively and her representatives would make such serious and categorically false accusations against Mr. Baldoni, Wayfarer Studios, and its representatives as yet another desperate attempt to fix her negative reputation, which was garnered from her own remarks and actions during the campaign for the film. Interviews and press activities that were observed publicly in real time and unedited, which allowed for the internet to generate their own views and opinions, he said in a statement on the New York Times website. These claims are completely false, outrageous, and intentionally salacious with an intent to publicly hurt and rehash a narrative in the media. Friedman also defended Wayfarer's decision to hire a crisis manager, saying this was done before the marketing campaign of the movie. The representatives of Wayfarer Studios still did nothing proactive nor retaliated, and only responded to incoming media inquiries to ensure balanced and factual reporting and monitored social activity, he later added. What is pointedly missing from the cherry-picked correspondence is the evidence that there were no proactive measures taken with media or otherwise, just internal scenario planning and private correspondence to strategize, which is standard operating procedure, with public relations professionals. Talent agency William Morris Endeavor, WME, dropped Baldoni after the New York Times article was published on December 21. Ari Emanuel, CEO of the agency's parent company Endeavor, confirmed to the outlet. However, WME denied that Lively's husband, Ryan Reynolds, was to blame for the agency's parting of ways with Baldoni, which the It Ends With Us director later alleged in his lawsuit filed against the New York Times. More on that below. In Baldoni's filing, there is a claim that Reynolds pressured Baldoni's agent at the Deadpool and Wolverine premiere. This is not true, WME, which also represents Reynolds and Lively, said in a statement to The Hollywood Reporter, Jan. 1. Baldoni's former representative was not at the Deadpool and Wolverine premiere, nor was there any pressure from Reynolds or Lively at any time to drop Baldoni as a client. In the days following Lively's CRD filing and the New York Times article, several famous figures shared their reactions to her allegations against Baldoni, including It Ends With Us author Hoover. Blake Lively, you have been nothing but honest. Kind, supportive, and patient since the day we met, she wrote on Instagram, Stories Decked to 21, linking out to the New York Times. Thank you for being exactly the human that you are. Never change. Never wilt. Jenny Slate, who played the sister of Baldoni's character Ryle, also noted she stood with Lively. As Blake Lively's castmate and friend, I voice my support as she takes action against those reported to have planned and carried out an attack on her reputation, Slate said in a Deck to 23 statement to Today. Blake is a leader, loyal friend, and a trusted source of emotional support for me and so many who know and love her. What has been revealed about the attack on Blake is terribly dark, disturbing, and wholly threatening, she added. I commend my friend. I admire her bravery, and I stand by her side. In addition, Brandon Sklenar, a love interest for Lively's character Lily Bloom, shared a screenshot of the complaint published to the New York Times website and linked out to the outlet writing, "For the love of God, read this." Plus, Lively's Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants co-stars America Ferrera, Alexis Bledel, and Amber Tamblyn wrote they stand with her in solidarity. Liz Plank also announced her departure from the Man Enough podcast, which she co-hosted with Baldoni and Heath on December 23. I'm writing to you today to let you know that I have had my representatives inform Wayfarer that I will no longer be co-hosting the Man Enough podcast, she wrote on Instagram at the time. Thank you for trusting me with your hearts and stories, for holding space for mine, and for making this show what it was. I will miss you, the listeners, so much. I love what this community created together with every fiber of my being, and that's because of you.